back, everyone. We've got a few minutes until we start. As usual, I like to chat with you a little bit before we get going into our class. My name is Elise. I'm so happy that you're here with me in my living room to practice a little yoga today. My dog Pippa is just off screen here. She got a new haircut and she's wearing a new little jacket. Do you want to come show off? And the mail has not been delivered yet, so you may hear her chime in with some barking when the mailman comes. So while we wait for other people to join, if you are on YouTube, then there's two ways to watch this class, YouTube or through the Yoga Download channel on the site. If you're on YouTube, you might see a little chat box down on the bottom. I'd love to hear where you're watching from. So if you're watching through YouTube, go ahead and find the little chat box, say hi, and let me know where you're watching from today. If you're here in the Western United States, it's the afternoon. You might be on the East Coast, it's the evening. Maybe you're in Australia tomorrow morning. So wherever you are, I hope you're having a good day. We'll get into our practice in just a few minutes. Again, please let me know where you're watching from, those of you who are watching on YouTube. Pippa, are you wanting to come show off your outfit? This may or may not be the only yoga class that you get to do with a funny little poodle wearing a handmade coat. This is Pippa. Pippa apologizes in advance if she starts barking. Right? Okay, back to your nap. The joys of live yoga. I see a couple more of you have joined on YouTube. I know there's some of you joining on the Yoga Download website. Thank you so much for being here. We'll get started in 2 minutes. In the meantime, those of you on YouTube, go ahead and type in the chat box where you're watching from today. I missed y'all last week. Hope you had a nice long weekend for those of you here in the United States. Okay, so I'm going to scoot back to my mat. We will start in 1 minute or so. I keep glancing at my clock. In the next minute or so, go ahead and get yourself a drink of water. If you've got a couple blocks, you may want them. If not, don't worry about it. And maybe put on some gentle music. And I'll meet you on the mat. So everybody go ahead and find a tall, comfortable seat. Whatever way works for you. You can even choose a chair or a couch for this first bit. Again, welcome back to my living room. My name is Elise. I'm a yoga download teacher. I'm based out of Denver, Colorado. So here in Denver, it's 4:30 in the afternoon. I can hear the late summer crickets. My dog Pippa is here on the couch. And I have had quite a stressful week. I think many of us on the western part of the United States have been living in the midst of smoke, fire. My home valley, the valley I grew up in, just got ravished by a giant fire. So my heart's been there with them. Sorry, I'm distracted because I'm getting texts coming in. I hope they're not too important. Today, of course, is also the anniversary of September 11th. So people around the world are grieving. We're also remembering the first responders who saved so many lives. And then, of course, we're still in the middle of a pandemic, so it's a lot right now. And if you're like me, you may want to use your yoga as a tool to ground down, as a tool to connect, come back to self, come back to that which is greater. So today we'll be doing a slower grounding practice. My invitation for you is to use your breath and always to follow what your body wants. So if I'm instructing something that feels too vigorous, please let me know. Actually, you won't be able to let me know because I can't hear or see you right now. But you can just take care of yourself by coming to child's pose or lying down into Shavasana. Just listen to your body. Okay, so let's start just by breathing. Go ahead and close your eyes, lengthen your spine, roll your shoulders back. Start to breathe, long, deep, smooth breath in and out through the nose. Let your inhales fill your belly, swirl around your pelvis. Let your exhalations move all the way up through the tip of the nose, releasing any old, stale air. In the midst of the chaos, we can always come back to this breath. So keep your deep breath flowing. We may hear a dog soon, just warning you so that you can maintain your composure, your equanimity, even in the midst of barking. Whatever is going on around us, we can be the eye of the storm, the calm. Three more deep breaths just like this. Okay, and then go ahead and come down onto your back. So we'll be starting really nice and slow on our backs today. Hopefully you can take your nap. Just take your nap, please. Okay, everyone. So just lie down on your back and bring your arms up overhead. And then as if you're climbing a rope, reach high and long through your right arm. And then push your right leg down, so you're lengthening the whole right side of the body. And then switch it out. Left side, reach through the left hand, point the left toes, and then you can just alternate like you're climbing up a rope. I remember this exercise in elementary school where we had to really climb up a big rope. Just getting some movement in the body and then opening the armpits, the side waist, that area that tends to feel so stuck and sticky after working at a desk all day long. One more time on each side. Nice. And then we'll come into what I call banana pose. It's also a crescent moon shape. So let's take the right leg out to the side, out to the right. Hook the left leg around, left ankle over right. Now make sure that leg is really nice and straight. Wiggle your shoulders over to the right and then glue your hips down. Make sure that left hip isn't popping up off the ground. Finally, the right hand can reach and stretch the left arm over. So you're lengthening the entire left side of the body. Hi, Pips. Can you go lie down, please? Those of you who are practicing with me at home, lying on the ground and stretching the entire left side of the body. Glue that left hip down one more time. Big breath in. With the exhalation, release and switch. So now the left foot comes out to the left. You'll wiggle your shoulders over to the left. Cross the right straight leg over the left. And then with the left hand, reach for the right wrist. Good. We do this side body stretch quite a lot while we're standing. It's a little bit different while we're lying down here on the ground. Notice how the right side body wants to pop up off the ground to make the stretch less intense. Make sure you're gluing the right side body, that inseam of the side body down. Send a few deep breaths into the right side. Rib cage, side waist, IT band. Big breath in. With the exhalation, release. Bring yourself back to midline of the mat. Bend your knees. Take your feet nice and wide. And then with the knees wide too, just take your knees, let them flop over to the right, and go ahead and turn your gaze to the left. So a little twist. And then we'll go the other direction, just a gentle twist to start. Knees to the left, look to the right. A couple more times in each direction, please. Let it feel good. You're kind of massaging the sacrum bone of the low back and the back of the skull as you move. Yeah, good. From here, let's try constructive rest pose for a few breaths. Bring your knees together, feet stay wide. Now you could bring your hands to your belly, your heart. You could give yourself a big hug by wrapping the arms around the chest. You could cactus open the arms, whatever feels good here. Let's spend this time connecting with the breath once again. Grounding. Truly allowing the ground, the earth, to hold your weight. Use your breath. With each inhalation, fill up. With each exhalation, empty out. 2 more just like this. Long, conscious breath, most important part of the practice. Okay, and now let's pull the right knee up into the chest and extend the left leg long and active. That means left leg, flex at the ankle, push the foot down like you're standing on the floor. Then with the hands, draw the right knee away from the rib cage, avoiding the rib cage. Give it a little squeeze, massaging those frontal hip flexors and the ascending colon. Really good for digestion, which tends to get kind of wonky when we're stressed. Now you could release the left hand, maybe even take it to the left hip. And with the right hand, draw the knee out to the side a little bit more. Get a little more adductor stretch, inner thigh stretch. You could stay right here or transition to half happy baby. In half happy baby, hold the outside edge of the foot or perhaps the big toe. Push that foot closer to your head or to the short end of the mat. And then pull the knee a little bit wider and further down towards your armpit. Deep breath into the ball and socket joint of the hip. Then gently release into a spinal twist. It's a little bit more of a twist this time as we tilt the right knee across the body and then anchor down through right shoulder, turn the gaze. Pull that right hip crease down. You can even use your left hand to do this. Down towards your left foot. Yeah, lengthening the lower back. 1 more breath. Exhale completely with the inhalation. Unwind. Good. Bring the pelvis back to neutral. And then pull left knee up into the chest. Extend your right leg long. Really push through the sole of the foot. And then pull that knee up and in and wide, avoiding the rib cage. Now we're massaging the descending colon. Good. Take the right hand to the hip or out. Take the left hand and support that knee as it comes out to the left, to the side a little bit more. Hopefully you can feel that stretch through the inner thigh. Stay right here if that's enough for you, or if you'd like, join me in half happy baby. You're making a right degree angle with the left leg. Activate through the foot, both feet actually, flexing both ankles. Send breath into the ball and socket joint of the hip. And then we'll take our twist, tilt the knee across the body, and then as best you can, snuggle the left shoulder blade to the ground. Maybe turn the gaze. Okay, we're almost ready to pick up the pace a little bit. Take 1 more deep breath in, 1 more complete breath out. With the inhalation, roll yourself back to center. And now I'd like to do a little rocking and rolling. Today I'm going to keep my legs straight. If that doesn't work for you, you can keep the knees bent as usual. Legs straight just looks like this. Rock overhead like a backward somersault, or I forgot the name of that pose, oh my goodness. And rock forward. This is like a forward fold or Paschimottanasana. All right, come on up and forward. Again, your knees can stay bent, or you can skip this all together. The next time we come forward, we're just going to come to a seat. Cross the ankles and shins, roll right over them, or get into all fours in whatever way serves you. Okay, I hope you're all having a good time so far. Let's wake up the spine with some cat and cow. With the inhalation, lift your tailbone and your chin. With the exhalation, tuck and round your back body. With the inhalation, smile, look up. With the exhalation, you're welcome to just let go of the breath in lion. Ha. Inhale. Exhale one more time, cat pose. Inhale into cow. And then this time, exhale into downward dog. Again, inhale into cow, knees down, heart high. Exhale into down dog, hips high, head down. One more time like this. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, dog pose, and hold. 3 long breaths. Oh, Pippa's gonna demonstrate some dog poses for us. Thanks, girl. We're breathing, rolling the shoulders away from the ears, squeezing forearms in towards each other and pressing through all 10 finger pads. Let's take one more breath right here, and then walk the feet forward into forward fold at the top of the mat. Separate your feet about hip width distance apart. Take your hands around your elbows and just let your upper body hang. You could shake the head a little yes and no. You could bend the knees and straighten. Whatever feels good here, just releasing the tension and stress from the top of your head down through your feet. Kisses for doggies. Okay. Bend the knees as much as you need to bring your fingertips to the ground. And then let's step the right leg, let's step the left leg all the way back into a low lunge. Go ahead and release the back knee down. And then with the right arm, reach up and over like you're rainbowing the arm back. Bend the knee, and if you can, clasp the outside edge of the foot. If you're still working for it, no big deal. Maybe you want to back the hips up a little bit so that the hand can come closer. If you've got the foot, then the hips can swing forward, create a nice little back bend and twist, stretching out the quad, the thigh. One more breath. Release. The foot comes down, tuck the toes, and now let's straighten the leg into a runner's lunge. Reach the arms up overhead for that twist. Right arm comes up. And then let's roll out the wrist one direction and the other. Should feel good. And now I love these arm circles. So it doesn't matter which way you start, but make big circles with the arms and let your gaze follow your hand. We'll do 2 in each direction. Reverse directions, probably. Good. And release, the hand comes down. Now go ahead and grab your blocks if you've got them. If not, no problem. You can do this without. My back knees to the ground. I'm going to keep it on the ground as I back my hips up for a half Hanumanasana, half monkey pose. Notice that the block hands are just underneath the shoulders. Notice if your right hip is swung forward, pull it back, dig your right heel into the ground and flex through the foot. Now push especially through the big toe side of the foot Inhale to lengthen the spine, and exhale to fold forward. Wow, hips is really wanting to get in the way today. One more breath here in a beautiful hamstring stretch. And then we will open into a really long pyramid pose. So that means you'll tuck the back toes under if they're not already, lift that knee up off the ground, and then place the right foot back onto the ground. You may want to walk your hands forward. So it's a very long pyramid pose. The back heel will probably be lifted. Now square the hips again, right hip back. Pull both kneecaps up into the thighs. Ground through both big toe sides of the feet. And then if you'd like, you could bend the elbows and fold forward. Let's move through those three poses again. So low lunge, bend the knee, straighten the back leg, lift through the heart. Release back knee to the ground, straighten the front leg, take your arms back, and fold forward. Long pyramid pose, right foot to the ground, left knee up, both legs straight, fold forward once again if you choose. Good job. And then bring some weight into the right foot. You might want to take your blocks out of the way. We're going to step forward into squat pose. Now I've got a dog in my way, excuse me, sweetie, but you are going to step the left foot forward into squat, bend the knees, toes turn out. Do the best you can here. Now you might have a block, you could sit right on it. This is the first of a few squats we'll be doing today. I'm going to grab a drink of water. And then let's call that good. Come into forward fold, hips high, head low, parallel the feet. Step the right foot back. Watch out, Pippa. I don't know why she's so involved today. Right foot back, low lunge. Release that right knee down, and then take the left arm up. Rainbow it back. Clasp the outside of the foot if you can. If you've got that foot, shift the hips forward, encourage the heel towards the hip, and then create a little bit of a back bend, a little twist right here. Big breath into the place of sensation. Make sure you're always breathing, and then release into low lunge. So tuck the toes underneath, lift the back leg up, straight and strong as if you were in plank pose. And then we'll take the left arm up once again and roll out the wrist, one direction and then the other. Now here comes my favorite, those big arm circles. Follow your hand with your gaze. Do 2 slow arm circles in each direction. When you've completed those arm circles, then you could bring your hands to your blocks if you have them. If you don't, again, don't worry about it. Release the back knee down for half Hanumanasana, half monkey pose. Take your block hands back, straighten the left leg. Straighten through that left leg, press the heel into the ground and pull your toes back. Now notice if your foot is kind of externally swerving out to the side, like the pinky toes are coming down more. That's common for most people. Instead, press through the ball of the foot like you're pressing on the gas. And then fold forward to your ability. Remember, never forcing, never over-efforting. From here, we'll try that long pyramid pose. Tuck the back toes under, straighten the legs, and then place the left foot down firmly, really pushing through the ball of that foot. And then again, you might want to lengthen the chest and fold. We'll spend a couple breaths here. Kneecaps pulling up, hips squared. And coming back into our low lunge, hands come forward, lift through the heart, make maximum length heel to head. And then back into half Hanuman. Knee comes down. Square the hips. Lengthen and straighten the front leg. Flex through that ankle and then fold. Nice big breath. Coming into one more time, a long pyramid pose. And then one more time, well, maybe a few more times, squat pose. Step forward with the right foot. Turn the toes out, the heels come in. Sitting down, feel free to sit on that block again if you choose. And then this time I'd like to, instead of bringing the palms to prayer, bring the backs of the hands together. So the fingers are pointing down, and that stretches the wrists in a different way. Just a couple breaths here. Now, from our squat, we're going to rise with our breath to star pose. So, inhale here. With the exhalation, push the feet into the ground and explode all the way up. Big arm circles here. Palms to the heart. And stand still. Bring your feet together. We're going to practice some balancing poses now. So take the right foot up off the ground, really rooting through the left, grounding. Now, as slowly and gracefully as possible, bend the left knee and shoot that right leg way back in preparation for crescent lunge. So you're going to bring that foot down, maybe wiggle it back a little bit, and then cactus, open the arms, creating a beautiful back bend here. With the breath, go ahead and bend the bottom knee, dip the knee almost to touch the earth, and re-straighten. Let's do that 2 more times. Dip the knee, maybe an inch away from the ground, and re-straighten. 1 more time, everyone. You can do it. I know it's a little taxing. Big breath here. And then from here, as gracefully as possible, figure 4. So we'll bring that right foot up, cross it over the left thigh. I like to place my palms to prayer before I then bend the left knee like I'm sitting down into an imaginary chair. Really activate the right ankle. Lift up through the heart. Bend the left knee a little bit further. Hopefully you feel a nice stretch through the outer right hip. Now we're coming into warrior 3 as gracefully as possible. I know I keep saying that. We're going to take the right leg back into a long straight line from heel to head, and then teeter-totter at the hips, creating a T with the body. And then allow the torso to come down, the hands to come down, standing splits. Release right leg down, ground through the foot, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold once again. And then rise to standing. All the way up. Maybe a little baby back bend here at the top. Palms to prayer. Samastitihi equals standing. So our balancing poses help us focus, help us have a sense of humor and grace. Please don't beat yourself up if you're wobbly or if you need to hold on to something. It's always just a practice. Let's try it again. So let's see, this time, left foot comes up. And then imagine where you're going. You're going to head back towards a really long lunge. Slowly, with control, step back. Once the feet are in position, really ground, squeeze inner thighs together, cactus the arms, create a little back bend here. And then, with the breath, Dip that back knee down, hover, straighten the back leg, especially through that inner thigh. Dip and straighten. One more time, dip and straighten. Good job. Hands to heart. Figure forwards next. Launch forward on the right leg. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Now as you bend the right knee, stick your booty back, lift the heart. Deep opening through the left outer hip, send your breath right there. Again, just for fun, we'll try warrior 3. So as you're ready, unwind the leg, shoot it straight back behind you, hinge at the hips. Dial the left pinky toe down, squaring the hips as best you can. Pause in warrior 3, big breath. And then transition into standing splits. Hands come down. You could take a hand or two around the standing ankle if you're feeling crazy. And then we'll place the left foot down besides the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Place the hands down and step back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take 3 breaths here in order to feel that sense of groundedness. Release any stress that may have accrued from standing balancing poses. Let it go. And then with your next inhalation, rock forward into plank pose. With the exhalation, bring your knees to the ground and slowly lower all the way down. We'll practice some locust pose here. So I like to bring my mouth to the ground, which helps lengthen my neck. Now it's quite hard to talk with my mouth on the ground, so I'm going to just pretend. But you could bring your mouth to the ground or even your forehead. Hands can stay as if you're in cobra. Pull the elbows back. Now, stretch your left leg back and super glue all 5 toes to the ground. Stretch your right leg back and start to lift your long, straight right leg up as high as you can get it, while keeping your hip bone, the ASIS in the front of the hip, glued down. So don't let the hip lift. Straighten the right leg. Even if it just comes up ½ an inch, that's totally fine. No bend in the knee. Roll the shoulders back. Engage your right booty. Lift up one more time. And then release. Take a breath right here in between sides. And then we're going to super glue all 5 toenails of the right side to the ground. Don't let them move. Reach the left leg back, straight knee, and lift. So if you're glancing up to your screen, you might see my leg only lifts up a few inches. That's because I'm keeping my left hip point glued, really glued to the ground. Now we're strengthening the little muscles along the lower back, getting some tone in the booty. Preparing for our full locust, lift up one more time and release. Okay, full locust, Shalambhasana, the legs glued together like one long tail. Now I'm going to put my mouth down, so I'll stop talking, but essentially with the out breath, lift both legs up, and I'll let you know when to come down. Two more breaths. Straighten the knees. Lift both legs. And release. Good work. Use your upper body strength to push you back for child's pose. Getting really nice and close to the earth now. Hips to heels, forehead to the ground. It may feel nice even to rock a little side to side on your forehead. Giving that third eye chakra a little massage. Okay, we are going to start to slow things down a little bit now. When we talk about grounding, of course, we also want to bring some attention into the feet. So come up with the upper body, bring your knees together. I'm going to move forward a little bit. Let's all move to the middle of the mat. Tuck your toes underneath. And then if you can, sit your hips back towards your heels and come up. Now I know this is a lot for some people's feet. So if you need to keep some weight into your hands for now, absolutely fine. If you are up the way I am, go ahead and bring your right palm up. Left palm up, nesting inside the right. Let the thumb tips touch. Roll your shoulders down and close your eyes. Wherever you are, really focus on the feet and what they do for you all day long. Imagine your breath bringing more vitality and ease into the fascia of the feet. All of the little bones, all of the muscles. Good. Release the hands back to the ground if they're not all there already. Take your feet a little wider and then very consciously roll over the toes so that the entire foot comes down for our last squat pose. Maybe you notice after the work we've done a little more ease in this squat. If crow pose is in your practice and you'd like to take it, go ahead. You can join me. I might flail a little bit, but that's okay. If you're not joining me in crow, just stay in your squat. We're only here for about 3 more breaths. If you're in crow, you can come down slowly. We'll all meet in Malasana. 1 more breath. Feeling that grounded quality of the squat. And then forward fold, hips high, head low, parallel the feet. Take hands around elbows and give yourself a nice little sway. Shake out any last bit of tension in your neck. Okay. From here, bend your knees again and just go ahead and sit on down onto your booty. And let's practice boat pose. So make sure you're about halfway into your mat. Lift up your knees, lift up your legs, lift up your arms, lift up your heart, lift up your gaze, lift up the corners of your mouth. Boat pose, you could also straighten the legs. Now for me, this is much more about my hip flexors than my core. So let's come into half boat to really work the core. Half boat, we're resting on the sacrum, pushing out through the balls of the feet, rolling and curling the chest up a little bit. Can you feel that a little bit more in your belly? A little shaking, totally fine. Let's stay here for just 3, 2, 1, and come all the way down onto the ground. Stretching out the core now in bridge pose, bend the knees. Place those feet close up to your hips, about hip width distance apart. Lift up your hips just enough so that you can roll your shoulders under, broadening the chest. I'm going to take robot arms here. You do whatever feels good for you. Now use your contact points between the body and the floor to push in and then lift the chest up, lift the hips up, ballooning your whole body up to the sky. Draw some weight back into the head. The chin is lifting, the chest is following the chin, and then draw your knees away from it all towards your toes. Little tuck of the tailbone, little tone of the butt. 1 more breath. And then ever so slowly with the exhale, release and roll on down. Let's pause in Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees wide, hand on your belly, a hand on your heart. We'll just be here to catch up with the breath. And then before Shavasana, I'd encourage you to take legs up the wall pose. Now hopefully you have a wall nearby. I don't really have a wall in the frame of this video, so I'm going to use the table. It works. You just want to scoot yourself around and find a place where your legs can be up, fairly well supported. This is a very restful, very grounding pose. This is a wonderful pose to do just before bed. So here in legs up the wall pose or legs up the table pose, you could, again, open up the arms. You could bring first finger and thumb together in Yana Mudra. You could place your hands over your eyes if that feels nice. Just choose something that helps you really wind down. Release any last bit of tension. While we're here, I'd like to remind you that on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, in the comments, there is a link to submit a donation. If you're watching this on the Yoga Download site, there's a button that says donate. Any donations that come into this class tonight, I'm going to donate to the families who have lost their homes in Southern Oregon where I grew up. About 1,000 homes were burned this week. And I'm feeling so much for those families, many of whom I know. So if you want to donate, there's many ways to donate to them, but any money that comes in for this class tonight will go directly to them. Thank you so much. Let's take a couple more soothing breaths with the feet higher than the head. Now, if this is supremely comfortable for you, you're welcome to stay right here. If you're holding any tension in your body, I'd recommend just coming down slowly, sliding back onto your mat or wherever is comfortable for you for our final relaxation. Final relaxation, it could be nice to have your arms by your sides, palms up, legs floppy, eyes closed down. Now let the breath be light and free and effortless. Feel into your body. Just notice how you might feel differently than you did 45 minutes ago. I encourage you to stay here as long as you possibly can. If you've got a few extra minutes, just soak them up. Maybe some of you are ready to roll right into bed from here. Or you're ready to get started with your Saturday. Thank you, wherever you are in the world, for joining me today. If you'd like, you can also join me by rolling over onto your side and coming to a seat. Again, my name's Elise Fabricant. I'm here almost every Friday afternoon, Colorado time. I also have about 75 classes on Yoga Download and would love to stay in touch with you over Facebook or Instagram too. Please join me next week. Have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay healthy. Namaste. Bye, everybody.